This is Ricky here from Zen Billiards, and I'm going to talk about the number one thing you can do to boost the results of your practice sessions. Let's run the intro.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I'm going to read a little bit from this book just to show you why sleep is very important to boosting your practice sessions. So this guy did a sleep lecture, and he said, "After my lecture, a distinguished looking gentleman with a kindly effect, dressed in a tweed suit jacket with a subtle green hue that I still vividly recall to this day, approached me. It was a brief conversation, but one of the most scientifically important of my life. He thanked me for the presentation and told me that he was a pianist. So he plays the piano. He said he was intrigued by my description of sleep as an active brain state, one in which we may review and even strengthen those things we have previously learned. Then came a comment that would leave me reeling and trigger a major focus of my research for years to come. As a pianist," he said, "I have an experience that seems far too frequent to be chance. I will be practicing a particular piece even late into the evening, and I cannot seem to master it. Often I make the same mistake at the same place in a particular moment. I go to bed frustrated, but when I wake up the next morning and sit back down at the piano, I can just play perfectly." So this is just a few pages after, and it talks about a study that he did himself, and it says, "I took a large group of right-handed individuals and had them learn to type a number sequence on a keyboard that left their hand, such as 4-1-3-2-4, as quickly and as accurately as possible. Like learning a piano scale, subjects practiced the motor skill sequence over and over again for a total of 12 minutes, taking short breaks throughout. Unsurprisingly, the participants improved in their performance across the training session. Practice, after all, is supposed to make perfect. We then tested the participants 12 hours later. Half of the participants had learned the sequence in the morning and were tested later that evening after remaining awake across the day. The other half of the subjects learned the sequence in the evening, and we retested them the next morning after a similar 12-hour delay, but one that contained a full 8-hour night of sleep. Those who remained awake across the day showed no evidence of a significant improvement in performance. However, fitting with the pianist's original description, those who were tested after this very same delay of 12 hours, but that spanned a night of sleep, showed a striking 20% jump in performance speed and a near 35% improvement in accuracy. Importantly, those participants who learned the motor skill in the morning and who showed no improvement that evening did go on to show an identical bump up in performance when retested after a further 12 hours. Now, after they too had a full night's sleep. In other words, your brain will continue to improve skill memories in the absence of any further practice. It is really quite magical. Yet, that delayed offline learning occurs exclusively across a period of sleep and not across equivalent time periods spent awake. Regardless of whether the time awake or time asleep comes first, practice does not make perfect. It is practice followed by a night of sleep that leads to perfection. So if you lose out on sleep, not only are you putting yourself in the fight and flight mode so that you cannot play pool properly, but you're not getting the benefits of your practice session. And these studies really have proved this. And when I play pool, I usually notice after a big practice session on the next day, I seem to play a lot better, especially if I get a good night's sleep. So I recommend getting as much sleep as you possibly can. So basically, if you're too tired when you wake up and you feel like you can go back to sleep, then you should go back to sleep because that means you need more sleep. So if you're really interested in getting good at pool, I would recommend reading this book, especially if you have trouble sleeping. When you play pool, you really want to, if you're serious about it and you want to improve a lot, you have to consider all the ways to improve it. So meditation, sleep, and practice is it's the three things that you should do to make your pool game the best it can be. So check out my hypnosis recordings on my YouTube channel, and they can help you to change your game and get your game to the level that you really want and get practicing smart. Leave a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this video. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon if you want to see more posts from me in the future. Thanks, guys.